Israeli airstrike targeted a senior Hezbollah commander, Fuad Shukr, in Beirut's southern suburbs late on Tuesday, that is July 30th, in what the Israeli military said was a retaliation for a cross-border rocket attack 3 days before that killed 12 children and teenagers. Now let's take a look at this ground report that's coming in with regards to what exactly went down.
An Israeli airstrike on the densely populated southern suburbs of Beirut heightened fears of an escalation of wider conflict in the Middle East. Israel's military said it was targeting a senior Hezbollah commander in what it called a retaliation for a cross-border rocket attack that killed 12 young people. Whether or not it leads to a wider escalation will depend on how Hezbollah chooses to respond, says Rhonda Slim, a senior fellow at the Middle East Institute.
This is a highly densely populated area. I expect the casualty rate to increase. The combination of a hit on a civilian site and leading to a civilian casualty rate, that will mean that Hezbollah will respond. The question is how they will respond.
Beirut's southern suburbs are a stronghold of the Iran-backed Lebanese armed group Hezbollah. The Israeli military said the airstrike killed Hezbollah's most senior military commander. Lebanon's health minister told Reuters that the strike also killed another person and injured dozens, some critically. On her way to a campaign stop in Atlanta, Georgia, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris spoke to reporters about the strike.
Israel has a right to defend itself, and I unequivocally support Israel's right to remain secure and to defend the security of Israel. What we know in particular is yes, it has a right to defend itself against a terrorist organization, which is exactly what Hezbollah is. But all of that being said, we still must work on a diplomatic solution to end these attacks, and we will continue to do that work. Thank you all.
Beirut had been on edge for days, anticipating an Israeli reprisal. Days earlier, a rocket strike on the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights on Saturday killed 12 children and teens on a football field. Hezbollah denied involvement in the attack, but said the group fired rockets at a military target in the Golan Heights. The killing of the youths prompted a high-level Western diplomatic flurry to avert a major escalation that could inflame the wider region. The Israeli military said it had issued no new instructions for civil defense in Israel, a possible indication that Israel did not plan further strikes immediately. Lebanon's foreign minister said his government condemned the Israeli strike in Beirut and planned to file a complaint to the United Nations over it. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said he did not believe a fight was inevitable between Hezbollah and Israel, though he remained concerned about the potential for escalation.
Now, Israeli military spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagar has said that the commander killed was a senior terrorist who has the blood of the Israelis and many others on his hands. Let's take a look at what he has said.
This evening, the IDF carried out a targeted strike in Beirut on Fuad Shukr, also known as Said Muhsin, Hezbollah's most senior military commander and the head of its strategic unit. Fuad Shukr was the right-hand man to Hassan Nasrallah, Hezbollah's leader and his advisor in planning and directing attacks and operations. Fuad Shukr was the commander responsible for the Majd al-Shams massacre, in which 12 children were murdered after Hezbollah fired an Iranian Falak 1 rocket directly at a soccer field in northern Israel on Saturday evening. He was a senior terrorist who has the blood of the Israelis and many others on his hands. One day after Hamas massacre on October 7th, Hezbollah joined Hamas in attacking Israelis. Since then, Hezbollah has fired thousands of rockets, missiles, and UAVs at Israel over the last 9.5 months, killing Israeli civilians and soldiers, and forcing 60,000 Israelis to evacuate from their homes. The IDF will not tolerate terrorist attack on Israeli civilians. We have been responding to these attacks with precise strikes on Hezbollah commanders, terror operatives, and military infrastructures in Lebanon. Hezbollah's ongoing aggression and brutal attacks are dragging the people of Lebanon and the entire Middle East into a wider escalation. While we prefer to resolve hostilities without a wider war, the IDF is fully prepared for any scenario. We have a duty to ensure the safe and secure return of Israelis to their homes in northern Israel. And we will continue to act to defend all people of Israel.
Now, after the strike on Beirut, the post on platform X by the Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant read, Hezbollah crossed the red line. This, in fact, on your screens is the visuals. This is the visuals of an important meeting, as we just heard the IDF commander as well. Israel is all out to take revenge for what exactly went down in Golan Heights. These are the visuals, in fact, that's coming from Beirut. Let's just take you through these particular visuals. A loud blast and a plume of smokes were observed in the southern suburbs of Beirut, which, remember, is a stronghold of the Lebanese armed group Hezbollah. And this was around 4:40 GMT, as reported by the Reuters witnesses. Lebanon's state-run national news agency also confirmed that the Israeli strike targeted the area around Hezbollah's Shura Council in the Haret Reik neighborhood. This is the particular neighborhood that we're speaking about. Now, Beirut has been tense for days, anticipating an Israeli retaliation for their previous attack on the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. Israel and the United States have accused Hezbollah of the attack, which Hezbollah, however, had completely denied. The targeted Hezbollah commander, Fuad Shukr, in fact, is no more. He's deceased. He's been killed by the IDF. This is the official statement that's come in. But these are the visuals that have come out from Beirut with regards to what exactly went down. The strikes, the airstrikes that took place, this is the exact condition. This is the aftermath of that particular strike that's taken place. Israel has confirmed on Tuesday that it carried out an airstrike in Beirut, which is Lebanon's capital, wherein so far what they have said is that they've killed at least 3 people, which includes 2 children. The Israeli military stated that the strike targeted the Hezbollah commander, who they have successfully been able to target and kill in this particular airstrike. And this is, remember, a deadly retaliation to what exactly went down in Golan Heights 3 days ago, resulting in the death of 12 young people. Now, UN Special Coordinator Jeannie Hannes expressed concern and has said that the Beirut strike that's been claimed by Israel in the densely populated southern suburb, which led to multiple civilian casualties. The UN believes that there is no such thing as a military solution, calling on both Israel and Lebanon to explore all diplomatic avenues to return to the cessation of hostilities and recommit to United Nations Resolution 1701.
Do you have any update for us on Ms. Hennis-Pleschert's efforts along the blue line to de-escalate?
She and the head of the UN mission, General Lazzaro, are continuing their contacts to try to de-escalate the situation. As you know, the peacekeeping mission has this tripartite mechanism, which we encourage the parties to use. And I mean, basically, I think whether it's Ms. Pleshert or General Itzaro, they're liaising closely with all the parties. And the message is to urge restraint, avoid any further escalation, and to return to a cessation of hostilities. I mean, we're seeing the destruction on both sides of the blue line. We're seeing also the impact of on tens of thousands of people who've had to leave their homes, whether on the Lebanese side of the blue line, whether on the Israeli side of the blue line, and we need to see a return to a cessation of hostilities.
If this really escalates into a full-blown war between Hezbollah and Israel, it could be catastrophic. So has the Secretary General picked up the phone and called anyone?
Right now, also, we have Jean-Pierre Lacroix, who is in Lebanon on a pre-scheduled visit. He will be meeting with Lebanese leaders, Lebanese armed forces to discuss UNIFIL. And just prior to that, he was also in the Undorf area of operation, and everyone is passing on the same messages. Yes, Iftikhar, and then Deji. Sorry, I didn't see you, Deji.
Now, the U.S. Department of State's Diplomatic Security Service entity Rewards for Justice released a wanted poster with an undated photograph of the top Hezbollah commander, Fuad Shukr, who is described by the Lebanese security sources as the head of Hezbollah's operations center. Now, the Israeli military has said that it assassinated Fuad Shukr, Hezbollah's top military commander. Let's take you through, however, who was this Hezbollah's top commander, Fuad Shukr. Let's take a quick look at his profile. He's also known as Sayyid Mohsen, Hezbollah's Secretary General's right hand. Directed Hezbollah's attacks on Israel since October 8 last year. He's the member of the top Hezbollah military body Jihad Council and is reportedly behind Hezbollah's most advanced weaponry. Now, what has the IDF said? The IDF has said that commander behind 12 children killed in Golan Heights. This is the statement that's coming from IDF confirming that Fuad Shukr is no more.